Hello students, welcome to all. I am from Misostudy and in this session we are again discussing the important question from the NEET Biology and the chapter name is Morphology of Flowering Plants. Let's start the session and discuss the question one by one. The first question in the session is Velamen present in orchids help in Option A, absorbing water from support. B, respiration. C, absorption of moisture from air. And D is synthesizing food. So before answer the question, we have known about what Velamen is. Velamen is actually a dead spongy tissue present in the epiphytic means aerial, epiphytic roots. Velamen is a special type of a dead spongy tissue that are present in the epiphytic means aerial roots, or also known as a hygroscopic roots, also known as a hygroscopic roots. Now, what are the advantages and help provided by the velamen? Velamen will help roots to absorb water from air generally moist atmosphere or the moist air in the form of dew, rain, in all that. In special, velamen present in orchids as well. When we discuss about the velamen, we go to know that velamen is a dead spongy tissue that are present in the aerial plants and especially aerial roots. What are the function they perform? They generally help the roots to absorb water from the air that present in the form of moisture or present in the atmosphere in the dew or as in the form of rain. So when we discuss about the various perspective about the velamen, we got to know that velamen always help in absorption of moisture from air. So this is the right answer. According to the discussion and the answer, let's mark the right option. In this question, the option C, that is absorption of moisture from air, is the right answer in this case. Let's discuss the next question. The next question is, pneumatophores are usually present in option A, Avicennia, B, Murraya, D, Eichhornia, D, Casuarina. When we discuss about the pneumatophores, first we have to understand the concept what pneumatophores is. Then we'll discuss about the functions and the role of it, and then we'll move to the example given in the option. Pneumatophores are breathing and respiratory roots generally found in halophytes that are grown basically in mangroves or saline swamps near the seashore. What nematophore is? Nematophore is also known as a breathing and the respiratory roots present in the plants known as halophytes. These halophytes are grown in mangroves or saline swamps near the seashores. For example, is Avicennia, Heritiria, etc. Now, what are the functions of nematophores is? Nematophores or respiratory roots help to come out of water. These roots are generally held and generally come out of water. Why they came out of water? Because of exchange of gases. How they exchange the gases? They generally exchange the gases for the plants named as halophytes by the pore. They generally bear the pores known as lenticels. Lenticels and pneumatodes, also known as pneumatodes. That's why it's also known as pneumatophores. And they are present near the tip of roots and the plants. So what are the basic roles of pneumatophores? They help to exchange of gases. How they do the process? Roots generally come out of water and they generally possess the pores named as lenticels and nematodes, and with the help of which they generally the exchange of various gases for the plants, and they are present near the tip. So according to that, the answer of the question in the question ask about the plants example which show the nematophores, and according to the option Avicennia is the right answer in this case. Let's mark the right one. In the question, option A is that is Avicennia is the right one in this case. Let's move to the next question. The next question from Morphology of Flowering Plants is, which of the following have fasciculated roots? Option A, Opuntia, B, Aloe, D, Agave, and next is Asparagus. When we discuss about fasciculated roots, we also know this is a part of adventitious roots and that are present in roots of asparagus because they are the modified adventitious roots. These modified adventitious roots, also known as tuberous roots, Why they are known as the tuberous? Because they become thick and fleshy due to due to storage of food and water in it. Food and water in it. By storing the food and water in it, the roots arise. The roots arise from bunches from lower nodes of stem. From lower nodes of stem. Sometimes roots, that kind of roots that arise from the bunches, especially from the lower nodes, these roots arise, that is also known as a fasciculated roots. Now, what fasciculated root is, we discuss in a inverse manner. Fasciculated roots are the roots that arise from the bunches, especially from the lower nodes of a stem. That kind of roots are known as fasciculated roots, and these roots become thick and fleshy because they are able to store the food and water for the plant for later use. And such kind of process are including under the modified adventitious root, not under the tap roots, and these all show by the roots of asparagus. So the right answer for the question is asparagus. So according to the discussion, let's take the right one. Here the option D is asparagus is the right one in this case, which generally having or possessing the fasciculated roots. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, the roots hanging from the branches of banyan tree are. Here are four options. Option A includes primary roots, B fibrous roots, C prop roots, and D is pneumatophores. As in the prior question, we just discussed about the pneumatophores that generally present in the halophytes, means that kind of plants which are generally present in water. Now we are discuss about the roots hanging from the branch of banyan tree. Before discussing all that, we generally discuss the various kinds of roots. First is, what is prop roots? Prop roots are thick, adventitious, and also known as aerial roots. Aerial roots. These aerial roots arise from heavy horizontal branches of banyan tree. Now, why these aerial roots arises from the horizontal manner? Because of providing support to the plant or to the tree. Support to the tree. These are also come under in the ficus plants as well. How these roots will grow? Next question is, how these roots will grow? The roots and what are the properties they offer? The roots are hygroscopic. First is they are hygroscopic. Next is they become red in moistened state. When the root get the moisture, they become into the red state in red color, and they also possess root cap. Where they possess the root cap? At the apex position, at the apex of the plant. After growing the horizontal, then the roots, they grow vertically downward, vertically downward, and penetrate in the soil, penetrate the soil. As the roots show the positive geotrophic nature, they will enter the soil, and there they become thick and pillar like, thick and pillar like. When they converted into the thick and pillar like form, in that form they support the big canopy of the trees, also known as in case of banyan tree. So according to the discussion, prop roots is the right answer that generally provides support in the banyan tree. Why the prop root is the right answer? Because they are thick, they are show the adventitious, and these are the aerial roots. First grow horizontal, then they grow the vertical manner, and by growing the vertical manner, they generally penetrate the soil, and after penetrating they become thick and pillar like, and at the end the main function is they provide support to the plant. So according to the discussion, the right answer for the question is prop root. Prop roots are the roots that hanging from the branches of banyan tree. Why they are hanging? Because they are generally providing the support to the big canopy of the banyan tree. Let's discuss the next question. The next question is, in one plant, underground stems are modified to store food, and in another plant the stem tendrils develop from axillary buds to help plants climb. They are option A, ginger cucumber, B, carrot jasmine, C, sweet potato and bougainvillea, and D is opuntia and iconia. When we discuss about the various kinds of plants in which underground stems are modified to store food, with the various stems parts which are generally store the food in it, that are known as the rhizomes. Rhizomes are underground stems When we discuss about the stem, the first answer come in our mind is they are green in color, but rhizome are non-green. Next, they generally store food in them and also take part in perennation. Now the question is how the rhizome will act and do the plant activities. Rhizomes generally possesses buds, and that buds for formation of new aerial shoots during favorable condition. when the condition is favorable for the plant. For example, ginger, turmeric, etc. Rhizomes generally possess the buds for the formation of new aerial shoots during the favorable condition, that the condition in which plant grow up to the maximum rates. Next, the stem tendrils of cucumber are modified aerial stems as well. When we discuss about the cucumbers, they are also the modified aerial stems. Now, how these aerial stems are? They possess the thread-like sensitive structure. They possess thread-like sensitive structure. That thread-like structure coil around the main support of plant, and they also help plant to climb, also help in climbing of the plant. So according to the discussion, we got to know that ginger and cucumber is the modified part of stem which generally store food, and we generally intake both of them in our day-to-day life, in which cucumber are the part of modified aerial stem and ginger are the part of rhizomes. Rhizomes are the modified form of underground stem, in which ginger are the underground stem and cucumber are modified aerial stem. Both generally store food in them. So according to the discussion, the right answer is option A, that is ginger and cucumber. So let's discuss the next question, that is the question number 6. So students, move on to the next question from the morphology of flowering plants, that is question number 6, that is, which one of the following is a modified stem that performs the process of photosynthesis? As we all know, the photosynthesis is the process in which plants are able to make their food by themselves. Options are A, tendrils, B, bulbils, C, phyloclades, and D, prickles. When we discuss about the question, the first come in our mind is about the phyloclades. Phyloclades are generally flattened in their structure like opuntia. Example similar like the opuntia, or sometimes they show the cylindrical structure. Cylindrical form like in the casuarina. Example was casuarina. These two are the example of phyloclades. Now phyloclades are green stem of unlimited growth. Green stem of unlimited growth which have taken into function for the photosynthesis. As we all know, photosynthesis is generally occur in the green plants or the green leafy green leaves of the plants. In some plants, phylloclades is converted into the modified form and turn their color green and possess the process of photosynthesis. The formation of phylloclades will help the plant help plants to grow in dry habitats because the process of transpiration little is little from the stem as compared to the transpiration rate from the leaves. So in phylloclades, the process of photosynthesis is better than especially in dry habitats as compared to the another plants. And phylloclades, in some cases, they also help to store water, mucilage and latex in them. They also help to store water, mucilage and latex. Now the phylloclade will also help the plant in two manner, either three manner. First, they help to off the process of photosynthesis. Next, they reduce the transpiration rate as compared to from the leaves. The third one, they help to store water, mucilage and latex in them. So, the right answer is phylloclades. According to the question, which one of is the modified stem that perform photosynthesis? And the right answer is phylloclade because they perform the photosynthesis, reduce the transpiration rate and also they help in the some kind of a storage food in them. Let's move on to the next question from Morphology of Flowering Plant is which of the following is the subaerial stem modification with long internode? Options are A. Rhizome, B. Offset, D. Runner and next is sucker. When we discuss about the long internode types, that is runner. Runners generally possess the long and thin internodes and branches that creep over the surface of soil. When we discuss the peculiar type of branches they possess, they generally develop from adventitious roots, and that kind of roots present at nodes on lower nodes that are present in the lower side of the stem. When we discuss about the long branches, as we discuss in the runners, they possess long branches that break up by any method. Why they break up? Because of they form two new plants. the new plants. In this way, by breaking their long branches, in this way, they form large number of new plants. Example commonly seen is doobgrass, oxalis, etc. So runner is the option. Why? Because they generally possess long and thin internodes and the branches. The branches present in the runners help generally and creep over the surface, and they possess the long branches. Because they possesses the long internodes, the long branches break up by the any method, and help to form the new plants in which they increase and produce the various new plants. Example in the doobgrass and oxalis. So according to the discussion, the answer is runner. Let's take the right answer in the question, that is option C, that shows the runner, in which the stem modified with long internodes in them. Let's discuss the next question. The next question from Morphology of Flowering Plant is the existence of two types of leaves in the same plant is called. Option A, Phyllodes, B, Heterophylly, C, Phylloclade, and D, Heterosis. When we discuss about the existence of two types of leaves in the same plants, we all know that more than the presence of more than one type of types of leaves on same plant is known as heterophylly. These are further categorization into three types. First is developmental heterophylly. Example are development heterophylly present in mustard and eucalyptus. Let's move on to the next type is habitual heterophylly. An example of habitual heterophylly is jack tree. The third and last type is environmental heterophylly. That are present in aquatic plants. Example Sagittaria. So according to the discussion, the right answer is heterophylly. Why we discuss about heterophylly? Because the question asks the existence of two types of leaves in the same plant, And we all know that the presence of more than one type of leaves on the same plant is known as a heterophylly. They are further categorized into first development heterophylly, next is a habitual heterophylly, and last one is environmental heterophylly, and we describe that along with the example. So in this question the right answer is heterophylly. Let's mark in the option. According to the discussion, option B, that is a heterophylly, is the right answer in this case. Let's move on to the next question from the morphology of flowering plant. That is, which type of inflorescence is found in ocimum? As we all know, ocimum centum is the botanical name for tulsi, and it includes the options, that is raceme, B verticllaster, C cymose, and D hypanthotium. When we discuss about the inflorescence, that is the arrangement of flower parts according to the axial, is known as an inflorescence. In Verticillaster, inflorescence formation of two clusters. Formation of two clusters, each cluster possessing 3 to 9 flowers. 3 to 9 flowers that generally arise on node in axils of opposite leaves. In generally Verticillaster inflorescence, there is a presence of two clusters. In each cluster there is a formation and presence of 3 to 9 flowers, and they generally arise on nodes in axils of opposite leaves. When we discuss the various kinds of branches and these clusters, the axis of chyme is shortened. That's why in that flower arise from a single point. They can arise from a single point in the case of axis of chyme. Next, when we discuss about the clusters that we discussed starting in the question, the two opposite clusters generally give appearance of whorl and verticille. Whorl and verticille due to overcrowding. To remove the problem of overcrowding, the clusters are generally arranged in opposite branches and in the opposite manner, and that is generally occurring in the ocimum sanctum. That is the botanical name for tulsi. So according to the discussion, in ocimum sanctum, the right answer is Verticillaster inflorescence, in which they are arranged in two clusters, and these clusters are oppositely arranged to each other even in the presence of whorl or the verticille. So the right answer for the question is Verticillaster. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, ovary is called inferior. The different kinds of ovary, as we discussed in the chapter, ovary may be superior, ovary may be inferior. And what is the condition in which ovary is inferior? Option A, epigynous condition, B, perigynous condition, C, hypogynous condition, and D, none of the above. To answer the question, we all know that the ovary, when show the inferior type, they are known as the epigynous condition, but we'll discuss the various conditions given in the option. First, in the hypogyny condition. First, we'll discuss about the hypogyny. In hypogyny, the thalamus is convex and conical shape. Convex and conical shape, due to which ovary develops at top. Ovary develops at top, where the other flower parts such as the stamen, petals and sepals are born below, are born successively below. So in that case, ovary are superior. Ovary are superior. We just discussed the first case in hypogyny, in which thalamus is generally convex and conical shape and ovary develops at the top, where the other flower parts such as the stamen, petals and the sepals born below. So in that case, ovary are superior. But our question is asking about the inferior position of the ovary. Let's discuss the next option, that is the perigyny. The perigyny condition. In the perigyny, the periphery of thalamus grow, and thalamus is growing the various degree, showing the expanded structure. And that expanded structure is also known as a hypanthodium. And in this case, ovary are again act as a superior, because the another flower parts like sepals, petals and the stamen, as in the case of hypogyny, they are present in the below. So in perigyny, again ovary is the superior, but in our question is asking about the inferior part. Let's move on to the next option, that is the epigyny. In epigyny, thalamus is hollowed out in form of flask. But their internal wall fused with wall of ovary. In epigynous, there is a peculiar condition in which the thalamus is generally converted into the flask shape, and their internal wall of thalamus fused with the wall of ovary. And in that condition, flowers are epigynous. Flowers generally possess the epigynous condition, and in that condition, ovary are inferior. Ovary show the inferiority, and the another flower parts such as the stamen, petals and sepals are far superior and present above to it, and that's why the flowers show the epigynous condition. And the right answer for after the discussion is epigynous. So epigynous is the condition. We discussed the various conditions. First is in hypogyny. Again, the ovary is superior. In perigyny, the ovary also act as a superior. But in epigyny only, the ovary is act as inferior. And our question is asking about the condition in which our ovary act as inferior. So the right answer for the question is option A, that is the epigynous condition is the condition only where ovary act as inferior and the other flower parts like the stamen, petals and the sepals are superior to it. And why it is opting? Because in this the thalamus wall is attached with the wall of ovary. So the right answer is epigynous in this case. So students, we are done with the session of morphology of flowering plant. Stay tuned with the Misostudy for such interesting sessions for NEET biology. Thank you very much.